Hello my fellow audience, welcome to my cabin, my Superliva, and I'll read you a story for today. In today's video, we'll be reacting to what happened to extreme units in Dragon Ball Legends. Now, I've been wanting to react to this video for quite a long time, and for those of you who don't know, I used to play Dragon Ball Legends. I stopped playing it after the 3rd anniversary. I don't know much about current Legends to this day, so I don't know what changes or what's got removed, but with all that said, let's get right to the video. Alright, this is a video that I've been wanting to look forward to, so let's get right to it.
There used to be a time in Dragon Ball Legends where an extreme unit could actually be one of the best characters in the game.
That is true, because I remember back when I played Legends, you would see extreme characters on the top 10 characters, so yeah.
Not a sparking, not NLF, an extreme unit. Fast forward to today, and extremes have basically disappeared from the game. The last good extreme unit released 3 years ago.
Is that true? That's crazy, because those who don't know, I haven't played Legends since the 3rd anniversary, so I'm not caught up to what's happening in-game. Really? Okay.
So what happened? How did extreme units go from meta-relevant to completely irrelevant? Because believe it or not, there was a time when we even got 10 plus good extreme units in a single year. And today, we're going to take a look at the golden era of extreme characters and how the rarity completely disappeared. To understand how far EX units have fallen, we have to go back to the very beginning of Dragon Ball Legends.
Okay, so I'm a little curious So I knew this was gonna happen. So I saw the title of the video, "What Happened to Extreme Units in Dragon Ball Legends," and I was aware that there were not new extreme units in Legends, but I didn't expect it to. Wow, I'm like lost for words though, cause I used to love building extreme characters in Legends, and the fact that we haven't got any new ones is pretty sad, I'll say. Pretty sad.
Launch, we had the 5 base sparkings: Super Saiyan Goku, Pan, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Pikkon. Alongside them were a handful of extreme characters meant to fill out the roster, but one extreme character stood out way above the rest: Extreme Blue Goku. This character was actually the best blue unit in the game after Blue Pan got nerfed and before Blue Bodhi released. And the crazy
Wait, was Pan actually... Wait, I actually don't remember if Pan got nerfed or not. It's been a while since I played Legends.
This part is, EX Blue Goku had a higher base strike attack than Red Super Saiyan Goku. He held 2 strike cards, both strike attack with his Z ability, and worked perfectly alongside Red Super Saiyan Goku, who was one of the strongest characters early on. But Extreme Blue Goku proved something important: that extreme units could actually be strong. After EX Blue Goku, we wouldn't get another strong extreme character for almost 10 months. And then came EX Evil Blue.
For those of you who don't know, for those of you who haven't played Legends back in 2019 and 2020, this guy, Evil Boo, was, if not, one of the top 5 units in Dragon Ball Legends during that time, because he was... I don't know what the heck Legends did or how they designed it, but I was mind blown when I was in PvP. I didn't have him, by the way. I didn't own him during my time, so let's just say I got my butt kicked by this guy many times in PvP, and yeah.
And this character was absolutely insane. Looking at the Ultra Space Time number 10 banner, Evil Blue was arguably the best unit on the entire banner.
There he
his
is.
blast damage was ridiculous, and his blue card was the strongest in the game at the time, as he had a 70% extra special arts power on activation.
Like, that is insane. Like, look at that.
And he was also a counter to his own team, as he dealt 50% extra blast damage against Regen characters. Regen wasn't the best team in the game, but Evil Boo made sure that it never...
If there's anything I'm gonna miss out, is that I really wish I had good Regen units, because this was when Regen was one of the greatest teams in Legends that time, and I didn't have good Regen units, so I'm pretty a little sad that I missed out on it though. I mean, I was a free to play, so I couldn't do much.
Wanted to see him. And this character was basically the community's wake-up call, that the developers could actually make strong EX units on these banners. And then they followed it up with one of the best EX characters ever released. A few months later, we would get Extreme Whis, and Whis wasn't just usable, he was core on the God Key team at the time. Whis gave damage support, key recovery support, and a 25% team heal on his main ability. But the most unique thing about him was his green
Trunks.
card, as Whis' green card does destroy both his...
Dang, there's so many old units that I haven't seen or I haven't seen in a long time, and I keep forgetting like they exist now.
And in the player's hand as well. This would lead to some of the most chaotic and creative plays we've ever seen in Legends at this time. And honestly, you could argue Whis was more valuable than Sparkings like Buhan or Golden Frieza, who came in the anniversary as well, simply because Gaki was a much better team than Regen and LOE.
Ooh, hold on, I want to look at the teams real quickly. Yeah, like, ooh, I remember, dude, I think, yeah, the only two teams that I ran was these two. But I think during this time, the only region units I have was Zamasu. I didn't have these three. I didn't have Slug. I didn't have Cell. Like, I didn't have like any of these units, so I couldn't run a good region teams during that time.
After the first anniversary, we would get one of the best events in Dragon Ball Legends history, the Ginyu Force Bootcamp. This event gave players a fully farmable extreme team, and it was actually great in PvP. The two standout units were Berta and Raccoon. Berta was the offensive monster. He had extremely high strike damage and could destroy Vanish multiple times, especially through his blue card and win ability. Raccoon, on the other hand, was the tank. He had some of the highest defensive stats in the game, a 25% team heal, and gained extra damage reduction depending on how many Frieza Force members were alive. And once you did get him below 50% HP, he would just start healing himself, which made him incredibly annoying to kill. This team also had an HP bench from Goldo, which was extremely valuable back then, as most teams didn't really have an HP bench. And this was one of the first times a full extreme team could actually compete in PvP.
Guys, you know what I realize? I think this is the reason why Legends fell off, you know? I'm not saying it's like falling off though. I mean, like, I haven't played Legends since their anniversary, so I don't know much about the current meta or the current units or so, but I think this is the reason why Legends fell off, you know? Because back then, they used to be so good, you know? Like, because not only sparking units were good, but we also have extreme units for players who couldn't even get a sparking character. And if you don't have a sparking character, then you can have an extreme unit who's literally on the same level as sparking characters, and it was pretty good, you know? Like, I'm having a hard time to like describe it though, but dang. Man, I really wish Legends does this more often. I really wish they would at least do more events where they give like extreme units. Like, it doesn't have to be a sparking character. It could just be a hero unit. It could be an extreme unit, and they could be on the same level as sparking units. And man, it's been wow. I'm just like starting to remember. I'm like slowly remembering Legends on first anniversary, second anniversary, and it's taken a while. I feel like the more I watch this video, the more I'll remember it, so let's continue.
Soon after the Ginyu Force Bootcamp, we would get Extreme Nail. If you were a region player in 2019, this character was a dream. I can attest to that, as I mained region around this time, and I made sure to summon for Nail, and luckily I got him. Nail had ramp up damage, meaning his damage increased every time cards are used, whether by you or your opponent. So the longer the fight went on, the stronger he became.
And you know what's the best part about this is that extreme units are like, there are some extreme units that are so good that you're like summoning on the banner not just to pull for a sparking character, but just for that extreme unit only. And I still remember, like, whenever I summon a banner and there's some extreme units I want, and then when I get a guaranteed sparking, I'm like, I mean, I don't mind, but I still want that. I still want that extreme unit. I still want nailed, you know? I mean, like, let's be honest. Let's be honest here. I think pulling extreme characters are more difficult than pulling sparking characters. Is that true? I'm not sure.
And his blue card does massive damage, and his green card gives him a 10% heal instantly, plus healing over time for 20 timer counts, which gave him pretty good survivability for an extreme character. He wasn't just a usable unit, he was genuinely scared. Later that year, we get another standout extreme character,
Broly,
Extreme Yellow Brody. And this banner was stacked. It had Bojack, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and
I have a question for players that are still playing Legends. I have a question for you guys. Are they still doing Ultra Space Time summons? Because I remember they used to do them a lot. Are they still doing Ultra Space Time summon? Are they still doing it? Because I haven't heard much about it. Let me know.
And Broly. And Broly's most broken ability was the fact that he could lock you in twice when entering the battlefield, which made it extremely easy to snap characters with either a Rising Rush or his blue card. On top of that, he had extra damage against Saiyans, hybrids, and Goku, which basically covered most of the meta at that time. And his ability, buffing yellow and blue units, is honestly still very good to this day. And there's a lot of extreme characters in the game that have staple abilities that are usable even now. After 2019, the extreme character golden era would start to slow down. In 2020, we only got one notable extreme unit, which was EX Gogeta, and he released during the second anniversary. And while he was a good character, his color completely doomed him, as he was a
because this was when Blue Vegeta was released, and he was one of the most broken character that was released that time. I was lucky that I was able to pull Blue Vegito, because if I didn't pull him, I would have lose many times in PvP.
Character in a meta dominated by Blue Vegito. Vegeta did have solid damage, decent tanking, and he was a support for the fusion team, but none of that matters when Blue Vegito is almost in every single match. And then came
and that's not even an exaggeration. Like, Blue Vegeta, like, if you play a PvP, each match and every match you play in, you always see that guy. Blue Vegeta will always pop up. And I remember whenever I go play PvP, I always expect someone to have Vegeta Blue, and I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be tough. Like, every fight in PvP during that meta, the second anniversary meta, was quite scary for everyone who did not have Blue Vegito, and it was quite the meta, I'll say. Though I don't remember much about that besides Vegeta Blue dominating the game during the second anniversary, which was one of the most driest content we had in game.
2021, and the developers would give us what I would think is the best extreme unit ever made. I think EX Goku is definitely...
Bro, Goku. I'm still sad. Like, I don't even have Goku. To this day, I don't even have him. And I'm sad I didn't get to pull him, because he was like an anti-hybrid Saiyan unit. Like, this guy was designed to counter hybrid Saiyan characters.
The best extreme character of all time. He released alongside Bido, Zangia, and Bujin, but Goku was on a...
You know what I would love for Dokkan? I would like if Dokkan ever does Bojack again, I would like for Dokkan to have Bojack's henchmen, and to, like, because I know, like, Zangia is always, like, it's usually Zangia to have a unit, but Bido, Bujin, and Goku, they're only like SR units. They don't even have an SSR or UR. And I would love for these guys to become a side banner unit, you know? That'd be cool.
Completely different level than these characters. And why, you may ask? Because he was designed to counter hybrids, which was
true. Like, yes, that's exactly what I said. Like, this guy was designed to counter hybrids. Especially, like, Gohan. I feel like Gohan, like at the time, was the best units in the game. Wait, was this? This was third anniversary, was it? Because I remember. Yeah, this was third anniversary. Because this is like part 2, and Gohan was released.
Was the most broken team in the game. Goku dealt 60% extra damage to hybrids and took 30% less damage from them. And then when he transformed, he gained that 5 timer count lock-in against hybrid Saiyans, which meant you could trap characters like Zenka FSK and delete them with his powerful blue card. Goku wasn't just a good character, he was genuinely seen as the savior during the hybrids meta. Because hybrids was the most hated team at the time, a lot of people summoned on Gohan's banner.
Yeah, that is true. Like, bro, people hated hybrids back then. The third anniversary, I remember like people hating the hybrid team so much because how broken it was. And Goku was the only unit that was able to counter the hybrid team.
Just to get Goku so that they could counter hybrids. And he wasn't just only good against hybrids, he was also good against every other tag in the game, as he had high strike damage. And when you pair Goku alongside Rival Gohan and Bojack, you got a pretty great team in movies right there. And shortly after the 30th anniversary where we get Goku, we got Extreme Jiren. Now Extreme Jiren is personally one of my favorite.
I didn't know. Wait, I didn't know Jiren had an extreme units. Wait, was this when I left? Hold on. Excuse me, I had to burp. Was he released when I quit Legends? For those of you who don't know, after the 3rd anniversary, I quitted playing Legends. And if I like explain, this video is going to be like 40 minutes long. But for short terms, I was not happy with the game. I was also feeling burnt out from grinding Chrono Crystals since I was a free-to-play. I was tired. I was also overwhelmed, so I quit Legends. I'll explain. If you want me to make a video of my experience of playing Dragon Ball Legends, let me know.
EX characters, as I did use this character a lot on a USS team with Evo Vegeta. And EX Jiren was powerful for 2 reasons. First, he does extra damage to Sun Family and God Key, 2 of the most popular tags in the game at the time. And secondly, he had support after getting hit, similar to LF Future Gohan. So players would intentionally use blast armor to take hits and activate the support. And after EX Jiren, extreme characters would fall off a cliff completely.
Ooh. Oh no, what happened?
And you wouldn't get another good and quote-unquote good extreme character until we got EX Omega Shenron in 2022. After 2022, the developers slowly stopped caring about extreme units. They started releasing fewer of them.
12 in the last 4. Dang, really?
And when they did release them, their kits were completely outdated for the meta. But I think the biggest issue with extreme characters in Dragon Ball Legends, the extreme pool of characters has become so bloated with filler characters that pulling a specific EX is harder than pulling a specific sparking.
That is true. That is true. Like, and that is a true statement because pulling extreme units, especially Super Saiyan Trunks extreme units, like I remember like I couldn't even pull in, like especially when I played Legends for many years and when he was released, I couldn't even get him. Yes, extreme units are very rare. Like these units are like so rare to pull. In the banner, like you can like rarely 14 stars them.
Or an LF. If Legends wanted to revive extreme characters, they would need to do multiple things. They would have to increase the pull rates for the featured EX, they would have to reduce the number of filler EX units on the.
It would be cool if Legends made a banner where you can only summon extreme units and all the extreme units are there. There's no hero characters, there's no sparking characters, just extreme units. It'd be cool if Legends does that.
Banner, and they would have to increase the amount of Z power that you get when you pull them. And most importantly, the extreme characters would have to actually be good units. A great way for characters to be good in a certain meta is giving them counters to either the best team or the best units in the meta, like what we've seen with Goku.
And I think that's what makes extreme units so amazing compared to sparking characters, because when you look at the patterns, you tend to notice that these extreme units were created to specifically counter the team, like one of the greatest team in the game. Like Goku was designed to counter the hybrids team.
And EX Jiren. It's gonna be almost 2 years since we last got an extreme.
2024, dang, it's been like 2 years. Wow, this is a cool art.
Extreme unit on the banner, and at this point, I just think that the devs just don't care about extreme characters whatsoever.
Correct!
I don't think the changes that I mentioned in this video are ever gonna happen because I feel like the dev team just wants to focus on legends, ultras, and supporter characters. The extremes have been basically left behind.
That's the sad part though, because you could tell that like extreme units are like no longer seen in the game now.
So let me know what you guys think of extreme characters in Dragon Ball Legends currently. Let me know in the comments down below if y'all enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. This is ZVG, and I will catch you guys next time for the next video. Peace out and one.
Thank you ZVG for the video. Okay, yeah. Ooh, there's some other, wait, 2022 broke. Yeah, there's some like other videos I like to watch. So yeah, hold on, cause sorry for a quick edit. There was an ad playing. So yeah, hold on. There's something that I saw during this video. If you guys tend to notice, there's also like a Zenkai on the extreme units, and I remember, yeah, cause this is what they did. I'm a little upset that they stopped doing this. So what I like is that they like not only added Zenkai Awakening for Sparking, but they also added Zenkai Awakening for extreme units. And I was hoping that hero units would get the same thing as well, where they get Zenkai Awakening. And ooh, have we not got? Wait, when was the last time we gotten a Zenkai extreme unit? Dang. It's still sad to see like extreme units being irrelevant in current Legends. I hope Legends one day, I really hope they revive the extreme units one day. It probably won't happen considering they're mostly focusing on the Legends the Legends rarity. I meant to say rarity. The rarity for Legends, Ultra, and most importantly, if there's anything that's more important than making a Legends limited character, is supporter. So yeah, I think that's about it though.